Hey Budget fam, it's Jordan from Jordan Budgets. Today we are talking all about shipping. If you are new around here, welcome. My name is Jordan. We love talking about making money on Etsy and YouTube because that is my full-time income. Primarily though, this is a cash stuffing and a cash budgeting channel. If any of that sounds interesting to you, we would love to have you as a part of our budget fam. Now I know this is a bit of a unique setup or situation. I really wanted to be able to share with you guys exactly what I mail with, the kinds of things I mail out, but I also have some resources to pull up on the web. So we're working with what we've got here. I hope you guys are excited for this style video. So we are going to be talking and deep diving into exactly how I ship and what I ship with. If you are looking for only information about shipping with Etsy, if you already have a good basis for how to ship items, packages, letters, flats, those kinds of things, this may be too much of a basic video for you. But when I first started creating on Etsy, I went to the post office and I said, I need to know how to mail things that I am creating for my new Etsy shop. And they said, well, are you shipping letters or flats, or are you shipping packages? And I was like, well, it's a little too like it's not a letter to like my grandma, but it's also not a package. Like maybe it's a flat, like it didn't feel official enough to be a package. I don't know. And that is not at all what they were asking me. So I've learned a lot of things in this first year on Etsy. And if you are somebody who has not sent a lot of letters or packages, this might be a great starter video for you. Trying to spare you some embarrassment at the post office and, anyway, you can see though at this point, like I do have a successful Etsy shop. In this first year, we have sold a little over 14,000 items. Thank you so much if you are somebody that supports my Etsy shop. But I did want to pull up the Etsy shop to show you guys what I'm shipping if you're new around here. So I do ship cardstock and sticker style items. So cardstock and sticker paper, that's mostly what I'm shipping. I have, I think, 9 different mailers at this point. This is not where you're going to start if you start with the shop. We're going to talk about it in a second, but I wanted to give you guys a brief overview that I do ship small cardstock items like this size. This is actually the freebie for this month, but I ship small cardstock items. And then I have some thicker cardstock items that are sent packaged together. This is 12 trackers. I'm holding this upside down. Okay, bear with me as I learn the camera setup. I am shipping like 12 of these at a time. And then this is the blank labels that I sell. So a lot of times these are packaged together. I also have some binders like this listing. Let me make this a little smaller. So this listing here on the computer screen, this is the binder that goes with that. And then I have some binders. So let's go to our custom money binders. Like these listings come with a full binder. They come with 6, 8, or 12 envelopes. And then they also come with, like different add-ons as well. So I'm shipping different size things, but for the most part, I am shipping binders or stickers, cardstock items, or I'm shipping a variety of all of the things. So I wanted to show you guys first what I ship. So as I'm talking about this, you guys have a good idea of what kind of a shop this is. I would like to also share with you guys right off the bat, at this point, I am still getting all of my shipping materials off of Amazon. I have no brand loyalty with Amazon. I just look for the size that I need and then I search for the cheapest option. This is just an idea of some of the things that I've bought in the past. If you guys see some of this and you want to go hunt for that size on Amazon as well, I will try to link everything in the description of the video. Of course, if I miss anything, please let me know in the comments. This is a good time to say too, if I share some information and you have some information to share helping out, like compounding on that information or correcting, and you have like a better way or a better system than something I share, please share it in the comments. I am not afraid to admit that I'm always learning and growing, and I love whenever you guys teach me something new. So go ahead and feel free to help out the community, help me out if you have any information that would help me or help someone else. So I think I am at the point where I should be looking for a bigger bulk of items from somewhere else, but I will say for this first year on Etsy, I have found the cheapest thing to do, so I'm not paying shipping and stuff, is just to get stuff off Amazon. So I highly encourage buying in bulk off of Amazon if you are just starting out. So before we talk exactly about all of the sizes and how I use things, let's take a second to talk about letters, flats, or packages. Okay, because these are things that like nobody was talking about, nobody shared when I was first starting out, because I think we are supposed to already know this information, and I did not know this information. Okay, so let's look at the screen really quick. So letter sizes are shown here. This would be an example of how I would mail a letter. This is the only size envelope I have for letters whenever I'm shipping things as a letter. Shipping as a letter is the cheapest way to go when shipping on Etsy, and you can do it. When I first started out, I thought that everything had to be shipped as a package. I'm going to share with you guys in a second those Etsy settings to make sure you're shipping as a letter. On this column, you see the minimum dimensions, like the minimum height and weight and thickness, the maximum height, weight, and thickness. The size that I'm sharing here and that I will link in the description fits those dimensions, unless sometimes I will ship it too thick and then I have to list it as a flat. But to not be too confusing right off the bat, this is a letter size. As long as I don't put too much, if I just put a few cardstock items in here, then we are good to go. Or even like if I put a few cardstock items and then some of the labels, I can ship as a letter, and letters ship for 60 to 80, 90 cents depending on the weight. So this is my go-to if it is a smaller package or if it just has like some labels in it. Next up is a flat. See if we can get all the dimensions here. So a flat is going to be something like, first off, I can use this letter, which is a cheap mailing option. I'll use it as a flat sometimes if it is a little bit thicker. So if I have something like a couple sets of trackers, that's something that I will sell, because in order to be a flat, it just needs to be thickness wise above 0.25. I don't know if you guys can see this, but like I can put it in a letter packaging and consider this a flat because it is a little bit thicker. Speaking as like more of a standard way to ship a flat though, you have these flat packages. Again, I will list what I use below. I use these sometimes for sending multiple packages of like my trackers here, or if somebody buys a bundle of the cardstock, I might ship it in here. Now again, I will use this just because this is such, what are envelopes, like maybe 5 cents each or something, and these flats are maybe 30 cents each. So if I need more space though, I will jump up to this smaller non-bendable flat. So the other flat that I use is this larger one. I have some sticker sheets that fit perfectly inside this non-bendable mailer, and I will ship this as a flat as well. So that is how I ship my flats, and then I will list, these are all USPS links or resources. I will link these in the description of the video if you want to take a good look at these heights, lengths, and fitnesses, but again, just trying to give you a brief overview. Moving on to packages, I like to ship USPS first class. As long as it's under 16 ounces, you can ship it first class, and it's cheaper than some of the other options. Packages is I will put them in bubble mailers. If you use a bubble mailer, you have to ship it as a package. You can't ship it as a flat or a letter. So these are the bubble mailers that I like to use. I use this smaller size, again, if it is just a ton of cardstock or stickers that will fit in either of these. Sometimes I will ship out stuff in this slightly larger bubble mailer, and it's the same kind of categories. And then for all of my binders, I use just this plastic mailer or this larger bubble mailer. All of these options will ship as a package. I can't run any of this stuff as a flat or as a letter. So the minimum I want to say that I typically send through USPS for as like non-international. International is a whole different conversation, but just standard shipping for USPS, as long as it is under 16 ounces, I can ship these at a starting price. I want to say $3.50, $3.80, something like that. And then if it's further away or if it weighs more, it can go up to, I want to say $9. And that is all if it's under 16 ounces. If it's a pound, if it's more than a pound, the shipping is going to be a bit more. So that is the difference in letters. Those are your smaller items, then your flats, and then you have your packages. When I first started, I didn't know anything about letters or flats or how to ship using those. I was shipping everything as packages, which means even if it was a 2-ounce package or order, I was still shipping it and paying like almost $4 for that shipping. USPS has a tool similar to this. I really want to know where I can buy one of these. If you've bought something like this to help you with your packages, please let me know where you got it. But basically, if it fits through a smaller hole like this, then it is a letter. You can ship it as a letter. If it's thicker than that, or if it's wider than that certain dimension, then you're running it as a flat, which you would need one of these two things. Okay, so that is a good starting point on this information. I hope that was helpful. Some of you that have more experience shipping, you're gonna find that as very basic, but I honestly did not know any of this when I first started. So this is everything I use at this point, and I still use just a kitchen scale to weigh my packages. I will say when you first start an Etsy shop, pick 1 or 2 sizes. Just buy the mailers that you actually need, see what's helpful for you and exactly what you're selling, and go from there. Don't think that you need to buy all these different sizes or packages when you first start out. So I also want to share with you guys though, whenever I sell my clear binders, those are what go in this thinner poly mailer. I can either put one in this one size and then fold it up, giving it like double protection, or if somebody buys 2 of them, because they're boxed, I'll just stack them 1, 2, and then this works for their 2 binders. If somebody buys one of these binders, that is whenever I use the bubble mailer. Now, bubble mailers are a lot more expensive than the poly mailers here on top, but the bubble mailer is going to offer a lot more protection. So if somebody gets one of these binders that is not in a box, they get a poly mailer. And again, I do the same kind of system. If they buy one, I just double fold it, giving it double the protection. If they buy 2, then I can stack them in there quite easily. Now, if somebody gets more than 2 binders, that's a whole different conversation on how I box those. We're gonna keep that out of this video just to keep this a little less convoluted. So before I go into the full-blown Etsy settings for shipping, let me show you guys, in case this is the first screen that you pop up on, is creating that first listing. So whenever this is just for one of my budget binder with custom labels, like it's one of my listings. You are going to create all of the information, and then the shipping information is all the way down at the bottom. Okay, so with a listing like the one that I'm sharing in particular, $3.20 is the shipping fee. I know that I'm not alone whenever you're really excited to buy some stuff and then you get to shipping, you're like, I am not going to pay $9 in shipping. Like, it's just a barrier to purchasing. So what I do is I make all of my listings $3.20 for shipping, and I just sort of accommodate the cost of shipping within the product itself, like within the cost. So this product in particular is $35, $37, or $40 depending on how the person purchases it, and then I just have a $3.20 shipping fee on top of it, which I feel like is very low. If it's not a shop that's offering straight out free shipping, I find that shipping tends to be $3.99, $4.20. So I wanted to go really low with that shipping fee so that it doesn't come off too alarming to somebody, which means in this listing in particular, I am taking a hit with shipping, but again, the price is just built into the actual listing. Now, there are some listings, the budget sticker kits are already a great price. My flat rate again is $3.20 for shipping a sticker kit. Now, I can mail a shipper kit. I can mail a sticker kit at about, I want to say $1.80 or $1.88 or something like that. So I'm making a little bit of money, if you will, off of the shipping price of this kit, but it's kind of balancing out. So like my different listings, some of them I'm losing money on shipping. I'm not really making money off of that $3.20. Some of them, especially if I'm shipping it as a letter, I'm making a couple dollars, if you will, to cover some of the shipping for other items, or even cover some of the shipping materials themselves. So I hope that makes sense. But anyway, that was random. I mostly wanted to share with you guys that when you're creating that first listing, your shipping is going to be all the way at the end, and then you're going to decide if you're going to do a flat rate or if you're going. Okay, so let's go back to orders and shipping, and then we're going to click on shipping settings. Now, again, I will admit that because I do that flat rate shipping of $3.20, if it is a domestic purchase, which all of mine are right now, I don't have to mess with too much of this. I just wanted to show you guys where this is exactly. So the rates, upgrades, shipping label options, package preferences, free shipping guarantee, and then shipping profile. I will admit to you, yes, you want to look through these, but I don't do anything fancy with any of my orders to do something else. So I did initially just create the profile and created a flat rate listing. I make most of my listings go out in 3 to 5 business days. Just another brief overview. Let me show you guys with a real order. I'm gonna pretend like I'm getting shipping labels for this particular order. I'm gonna have to cover up some information here on the right because I don't want you guys to see who this is, see this person's information, but you can create different label presets. So I have now created a preset for every single thing, and I've started it just to show you the organization and how I do this. This is a letter. It's the lightest and the cheapest way that I can ship something. So I have preset this in here. The only way you're going to be able to set up these presets is whenever you go to ship your first item, you can decide right here that it's not a package, it's not a flat, it is a letter. You need to make sure that you have the height on this one as 0.25, where it's going to not let you. I'll show you right now. It's going to say that that's invalid. That's not going to work. I had the hardest time with this when I first started. It won't say label preset letter for you. That is something that I did on my own, but it's going to have what you change right here. I'm going to pick letter. I would pick the weight of it as 1 ounce. Length for this particular letter is 0.75 for the length. Width is 6, height is 0.25. Again, you want to have it as 0.25 or it's not going to let you do that as a letter. And then it only cost me 57 cents to ship. I will say if it's something that is a little thicker, that will make your letter as non-machinable. The way I like to get around that, because Etsy doesn't really have a non-machinable listing, I will just tack on an extra ounce. So if this weighs 1 ounce, I will ship it as it weighs 2 ounces just to try to pay for that non-machinable fee. That has worked for me so far. If it doesn't work for you, let me know, but that has worked for me. I've never had a letter come back. If it's a little bit thick, basically non-machinable means that it's not very bendy. It won't run through the machine if it's not very bendy. So they have to, USPS just has an extra fee. So if you want to play it safe, just always run it as 1 extra ounce than what it actually is. So once you've decided, say on your first order, like this is what you are going to be shipping a lot of, you can go right down here and, hold on, let me change this to 2 ounces. You will see this button, save this label as a new preset. You want to click this and then you can name it. So like mine is labeled 1, and the 1 for me is just there to know that is my cheapest option. It's telling me that preset is already taken, but you would just hit save to make it a preset. I'm not going to walk through every single preset that I have made, but just know at this point I have 11 different presets. So like if I want to run a letter, if I want to run this as a flat, that is its own preset. You will see it's the same dimensions, but the height has been changed because I'm running this package as a flat. The other things that the other sizes, so like my next biggest size up is the pink bubble mailer. Am I boring you guys? I'm so sorry. This is the next size that I offer and the next cheapest way for me to ship something. The next biggest size is this black bubble mailer, and then the small rigid mailer is the next size. I guess I should say this kind of goes by size, not necessarily cheapest, because the sticker sheets, 6 medium mailer, this is what I use for the sticker sheets, but I run these as a flat. So if you want to change it from a pack, instead of earlier we were using a letter, we would change this to a flat. Mine is typically 2 to 3 ounces, and the length is 12 inches, the width is 9.5, and then the height, because I'm running it as a flat, it needs to again be above that 0.25, and then the height is 0.5. So I can run that as a flat, and it is $1.64. Let me show you guys a different preset. So you can see here, I'm not running that as a letter or a flat. I'm running it as a package or an envelope. I'm running it as 10 ounces. Let me show you guys if this were 16 ounces as a package or a flat. If it's 16 ounces, that's right at a pound. I can still run that as USPS first class mail, and I can get that for $6.28. Now, if you put it over, so let's say it's 17 ounces, that's right above a pound, the cheapest way that you can ship it is going to be USPS Priority Mail. You no longer have that first class option. That's only for items that are a pound or less. So if you are shipping for things over a pound, you might really want to do your research on how to do that. I will say if I'm shipping multiple things and it's like 2 pounds, it's a lot, I'll change the package type to a flat rate. I like to use the medium flat rate box. That's $14.25, and I don't know honestly how heavy that goes up to. Those are boxes though that you can get for free from USPS. Contact them, go to your local USPS, and they will get you those boxes that ship for $14.25. It's kind of like whatever you stuff in the box, but that is the only time I will use any of these like flat rate boxes, is if it's something that's really heavy. But if you're shipping stuff always over a pound, you might want to look into the small, medium, and large flat rate boxes. If you're using this length, width, and height often though, I would save it as a preset, so then you can easily just scroll down to what you want. Say I wanted to use this bubble mailer, but I had 2 binders. This is kind of how it would ship most often. I do another thing about presets. So like the letter, I will use this preset, and then you can quickly go in and change how much it weighs. This letter size is not going to change, but the weight will change depending on what I'm shipping. So I always just choose my preset, and then I edit the weight towards what that particular package needs. So that is it for this video. Everything that I purchase, use, and share, I will put in the description. I will also put in the description the USPS links that I was using to show you guys like the different sizes of the letter and the flat and those kinds of things. I'll put those links in the description. I will also put in the description some sort of further information, like other YouTubers that I've found to be very helpful, that will move past the information that I've shared in this video. Because again, I just really wanted to share like the entry level, the basics, and what made me feel really dumb right off the bat when I knew nothing about shipping USPS. As always, I love you guys, I appreciate you, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.